The remaining survivors of the Inquisition begin to renovate their new home, Skyhold, a fortress in the mountains that seems to have been abandoned for some time since after the Third Blight. Stories of the events at Haven have quickly spread, reigniting the people's belief in the Inquisition. People from all over are making the pilgrimage to Skyhold to join you against Corypheus. After everything that has happened, Cassandra and the others are convinced that you are the one that should lead the Inquisition, as it was your decisions and will that have taken them so far. Many in the Inquisition owe you their lives after the events in Haven and vow to follow you to the end. With your council, you discuss Corypheus and try to make sense of what he wants and who he is. The council can't figure out much, but they do know what he wants next. When helping the mages or Templars, you uncover a scheme to assassinate the Empress of Orlais. They believe that the chaos caused by her death would destabilize the area, making it much easier for Corypheus to invade with his army. During the discussions, Varric walks into the room, claiming he knows someone who can help, saying his friend has crossed paths with Corypheus before and may have more insight on what he will do next. You follow Varric alone to a secluded part of Skyhold and meet his contact. His friend is named Hawk, the famed champion of Kirkwall and protagonist of Dragon Age 2. Hawk informs you about his encounter with Corypheus. Corypheus was imprisoned by the Greywardens, but while in his jail, he used his connection to the Blight to cause infighting amongst the Wardens and drive them mad. Hawk was then lured into his prison by corrupt Wardens. Trapped in the prison, the only way to escape was to kill Corypheus. Hawk and his team thought the job was done, but clearly Corypheus has some sort of power of resurrection. Now realizing that Corypheus was most likely imprisoned because he couldn't be killed. When they initially met Corypheus, he seemed confused. Clearly misplaced from time, he didn't understand the term Darkspawn either. The only thing Corypheus claimed was that he was a priest of the old god Dumont, and that he personally broke into the Golden City like in the Chantry Tale. Prior to Skyhold, it was noticed that all Greywardens went missing around the same time the Conclave exploded. Greywardens are knights dedicated to fighting Darkspawn and the Blights. In order to become a Greywarden, they must consume Darkspawn blood to gain abilities, partially becoming Darkspawn themselves. Hawk believes that Corypheus has done something to them, as his contact in the Wardens was worried about corruption on the inside. He has heard nothing from his contact since their last conversation. Hawk then leads you to where his friend may be hiding. You meet Hawk's contact in a cave in Crestwood. The contact can be 3 different people, depending on choices from prior games. As the contact was investigating internal corruption, all the Greywardens in Orlais began to experience the Calling. The Calling is when a Greywarden is about to succumb to the Blight, thus their time is almost near. A Warden under the effect of the Calling begins to have dreams and hear whispers. Instead of completely succumbing to the Blight, the Warden then goes down to the deep roads and tries to take as many Darkspawn as they can with them. But in truth, Corypheus is using his connection to the Blight to influence the Wardens and make them think they are dying. Hawk's contact mentions that Greywarden Commander Clarel suggested a contingency plan in case all Greywardens were to perish. It involved the use of sacrifice and blood magic. The contact rejected this plan and then was suddenly turned on by his fellow Wardens. He then asks you to meet him at an ancient Tevinter ritual tower in the western approach. There, he said, you will find your answers. At the tower, you find Greywardens sacrificing their comrades to summon demons from the Fade and binding them to themselves. Leading this ritual is a Venatori mage. You try to convince the remaining Wardens that they are being lied to, but you are met with dead stares. The mage explains that after the mass calling, the Greywardens were desperate, so they began to look for help everywhere, even in Tevinter. Naturally, the Venatori were prepared to swoop in and help. He convinced the Warden commander of a last-ditch effort plan to amass a demon army using blood magic and go down into the deep roads and kill the remaining slumbering old gods before they wake, thus preventing any future blights from happening, as blights are caused from Darkspawn infecting these slumbering old gods. But the Venatori's true intentions was to mind control the Wardens that bound demons by altering the ritual that they taught them slightly. The Venatori successfully took the Grey Warden's good intentions and desperation and twisted it for their own ends. A battle then breaks out and the mage escapes. Now with more information and help from Hawk's contact, a plan is made to assault the Warden base Adamant and stop Commander Clarel from going any further. Cullen and the army are successful in carving you a path to Knight Commander Clarel. When you arrive, you find her in the midst of a ritual trying to summon a very large demon, sacrificing even more Grey Warden warriors. They believe they are doing their duty by any means necessary. Even if the whole world turn against them, they will stop the blight. It is their duty. The Venatori mage continues to play on this feeling, attempting to fight any accusations of corruption. Eventually you make headway with Clarel, and she tells the mage that she would like to test him on these accusations to avoid any further bloodshed. The mage drops the act instantly and destroys any trust he built up by directly summoning the archdemon to attack the base. Clarel, shocked by the image and the realization of what she's done, attacks the mage. He is hit directly and quickly gets up to run away. Clarel chases after him. When you catch up, you find the two fighting on the edge of a collapsed bridge.
You've destroyed the Grey Wardens.
You did that to yourself, you stupid bitch. All I did was dangle a little power before your eyes, and you couldn't wait to get your hands bloody. You could have served a new god.
I will never serve the Blight.
When falling off the bridge, it seems as though you instinctively opened a rift to the Fade. Everyone is in shock, as no one has physically been in the Fade since the first mages who caused the Blight. Looking at your surroundings, you can see a rift in the distance. This is most likely the rift Clarel opened when she was trying to summon the large demon. You and your companions agree the best course of action is to head towards that rift and attempt to get back to the real world. Further in, you find a woman, Divine Justinia. But quickly as you talk to her, it is evident that it is not truly Divine Justinia. Hawk tries to get more information out of the being, but it simply states it is here to help. It informs you that Corypheus has allied itself with a very powerful demon that gorges itself on people's fears. It is this demon that took away your memories of what happened at the Conclave. It is also responsible for the mass false calling that terrified the Wardens. The helpful being suggests that before you make your escape from the Fade, you must recollect your lost memories. In the first memory, you can see Grey Wardens binding Divine Justinia for sacrifice. Corypheus walks into the room and begins to use the elven orb on her. Justinia screams for help. You then run into the room to see what the commotion was. Distracted by your entrance, Justinia uses this opportunity to smack away the elven orb. It rolls towards your direction, and you instinctively pick it up. Corypheus lunges at you, but you surge with power, and the explosion happens. This is how you attained the anchor. The being explains that Corypheus intended to rip open the veil and use the anchor to enter the Fade and throw open the gates to the Black City, believing it will give him godhood. But there is a very good chance he will just cause another calamity akin to the Blight. The being then moves on ahead, suggesting for you to collect more memories, and warns you that the demon now knows you're in the Fade. In your next memory, it clearly replays your escape from the Fade. When you were found, people believe they saw a woman leading you out of the Fade. They claimed this woman was Andraste. Now it is clear that it was Divine Justinia behind you. But right before you escaped, she was taken by a demon. The being confirmed that Divine Justinia died. The being is a spirit of some sort. If it is Justinia's soul or just a spirit taking on her likeness is unclear, and it does not give answers. But it simply still wants to help. Eventually you make your way to the rift where the fear demon awaits. Just before the battle, the spirit of Justinia sacrifices itself to delay the main body of the demon. A battle then breaks out against the aspect. Once victorious, you rush for the exit, but the main body is returned and is in your way. You are then given a choice to have Hawk or the Greywarden stay behind and distract it so that the others can escape. Either way, your choice successfully distracts the demon as you make your escape and close the rift behind you. The person who stayed behind is assumed dead. The remaining Wardens are free from influence, and Corypheus has lost a large portion of his army. The surviving choice then heads to Weishaupt to inform the main Greywarden base on the events that happened.
While they do that, I'll inform the Wardens at Weishaupt what's happened. Best they not get caught off guard. Good luck, Inquisitor. It's been an honor, and take care of Varric for me.
Alongside helping the Greywardens, you are able to head to Orlais to resolve the assassination plot. During the events of Inquisition, the land of Orlais is having a civil war due to a dispute in succession. While helping the mages or Templars, you have found evidence of a possible assassination plot to destabilize the land for Corypheus. The current Empress is in danger, so you and your companions attend a ball where the assassination is supposed to take place. The ball is being held as a chance for Empress Celine and her cousin, Duke Gaspard, to negotiate peace talks in an attempt to come to an agreement to stop the bloodshed. Your goal is to investigate the individuals of the peace talks and find out who is behind the assassination plot. As you attend the ball, you come across multiple strings of backstabbing, blackmailing, and murder from multiple sources. Liliana suggests that whoever is to strike at the Empress would most likely be someone close to her or at her side. She informs you that Empress Celine is quite into mysticism and has an occult advisor. Having had dealings with this mage in the past, she knows how ruthless they are and can be quite capable of anything. Liliana believes it is worth investigating. You snoop around and eventually find the mage's office. You find a letter from the Empress asking Lady M to be by her side in case Duke Gaspard tries any sort of magical tricks against her. You find nothing else of note and head back to the ballroom. But before you can enter, you are stopped by the voice of a woman.
Well, well, what have we here?